Okay, so here we are back in the fishbowl, and you know what that means? I call it the fishbowl because I'm surrounded by windows, for those who didn't know. I'm in the fishbowl because I'm here to talk to you about something technical. We're gonna do a technical video today. Today what we're gonna talk about is text styles in Affinity Publisher. Yes, let's go! What's going on, everybody? My name is Dave Conry and I am an artist and designer based in Southern California, and today I am gonna be doing a honeydew project. What's a honeydew project, you ask? Honeydew project is one of those ones that you do for your spouse because they have asked you to do them. My wife said, Dave, I need a new resume. You're a designer. Can you please design me a new resume? Yes, I'm gonna design her a brand new resume. Now, I'm not gonna do the whole resume process here for you guys. That takes a while. Maybe at some point I will record the whole thing and then you'll see what I did, or at least I'll show you the final project. But what I really want to talk to you guys today about is text styles in Affinity Publisher, because I know that this is a major issue. It was already a major issue for me. And so now I'm gonna explain what I've learned to you. But now before I say, hey guys, if you enjoyed this video at all right now or even into the future, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you think you are gonna stick around for some of the other things that I do, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and touch that little bell there because you never wanna miss a video. And then of course at some point, you're gonna wanna leave a comment, so go down there, comment, tell me what you thought, tell me what you think, tell me what you wanna know about, tell me if you have any questions, tell me how dumb I am for doing this project. I don't care, just tell me something. Make sure you still keep the thumbs up because I don't want the thumbs down. Who likes the thumbs down? If anybody's asking for a thumbs down, I mean, how foolish is that? All right, let's get to it. For the rest of the purposes of this video, I'm gonna be going to the screen. I'm pointing to the screen. I'm pointing to the screen. We're gonna go to the screen. Let's go to the screen. Okay, so I'm gonna real quickly just give you a rundown about what I've done here on the page. As you can see, I've got all kinds of grids and guides going on, and I have also recently discovered the whole guides thing, so I wanted to share a little bit of that with you. So I've set up guides, and I'm gonna drag a guide here, just completely random space. Put a couple there, just like random spaces. Now if I go up here to the guides manager, here we go. This is the one in question. As you can see, it's moving right there in the vertical guides section. If I wanted to make it very specifically and change it to, like, say, I'm gonna go 5 inches, right? You can see it jump right over. So you can be very precise with this, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna delete that, right? And I'm gonna keep that one because, actually, no. That's the one I deleted the wrong one. This is the one I want to get rid of too. You can see it's moving like that. I want to get rid of that one, so I do that. And of course, not all of them. I just want that one. Of course, I could remove all guides all at once if I wanted to, or if I wanted to do some sort of incremental changes by percentage. Want to do that? Sure, by all means. The columns work a little bit different than they do in InDesign. It took me a second to figure it out. As you can see, I've got 6 columns across the page. And the reason I'm doing that is because for the resume project, I'm gonna be splitting up into like a 1/3/2/3 type of scenario, but I'm also gonna be using the micro measurements between those 1/3 and 2/3 so that I can see where things lay out. That may change as things go along. I don't know. I'm just using it for now because there's a lot of text in this resume, and I'll show you in a second. And I don't know exactly how it's gonna lay out, so I'm just going fluidly from here. So I'm on the master, and of course it all applies, everything applies to the main pages. Main pages, and you can see it's a little bit cluttered and stuff like that, and that's just because I've got certain columns. I got this text box that's set to 2 columns, and then I've got this other one that's set to 3 columns, and it's just because that's overflowing right now. And I'm gonna figure out how to break this all up. But as you can see, and actually let me get rid of that, and then I'm gonna, nope, that's not what I wanted to get rid of that so you guys can really see what's going on. Get rid of the column guides for the time being, just so you can see how much text is going on. There's a ton of text happening on this page. I'm just gonna zoom in here and just basically bring up the text styles as I currently have them. Now, the default text styles for Publisher are pretty intense. They're pretty intense. There's a whole lot going on there. And you get this whole laundry list. And as I said in the previous video, I deleted all of them, except for a couple. I wanted to have my base, which is essentially the starting ground for everything. As you can see, it's Helvetica because I'm not using Arial. It's at 9 point and it's regular. It's just a good jumping off point for me, and then we'll go from there. Now I may change some of these titles to different typefaces, I may change obviously the boldness or the italicizing it or whatever. I'm going to do a lot of that as we go. I already established this bullet. Now it's kind of already been, it was one of the ones that I did keep. It was one of the base type styles that was already here that I kept just because it worked. And I'm probably going to mess with it a little bit more because it's still a little bit wonky. This space between the bullet and the actual type is a little different, and I would like to maybe inset that bullet a little bit more. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that because that requires like tabs and insets and all that, and so I'm going to get to that. But what I wanted to do is at least do this so you can see what's going on. I'm going to select this type right here. Actually, before I get in there, I want to explain something about the text styles palette. This is something that I had to discover myself the hard way because I described it before that, like, if you go to InDesign, there's a paragraph styles and there's a character styles, and they're two separate palettes. This doesn't break those apart, and at first I wasn't quite sure. It took me a second to figure it out. But as you can see, the little icons here, that icon right there is a paragraph icon, and this icon right here is a letter icon or a character icon. If I go down here, scroll all the way down to the bottom of this palette, you can see create paragraph style or create character style or group style, which I'm guessing this might be something in relationship to object styles. Maybe that's what that is. I haven't dove into that. Object styles is what InDesign calls them. Maybe this is what Affinity Publisher calls them. We're not going to get into that today. I'm going to have to dive deeper onto that another time. But for our purposes right now, we're just going to stick with create character styles and create paragraph styles. We already have a paragraph style established here. The base. What if I also wanted to have something for this specific type of description information? If you look at what she's got information here, this is basically her current status. The kind of the bullet points, of course, and then of course you've got some titles or subtitles here within that. This is her main title, and then this is a snapshot subtitle. Experience and achievements is probably going to be another title, or at least another headline or subhead. So we're gonna have to figure all that out. But this is basically a describer. My question is, should I change that? I'm just gonna go ahead and say yes for the time being, and then I'm gonna figure that out later. So I'm not gonna change base because that would change everything. What I wanna do is I wanna create a brand new paragraph style. And I'm gonna change the typeface. I'm gonna change it to, I think I'm gonna go, actually, you know what I'm gonna go? I'm going to scroll down here. We're going to go all the way to, if I can find it, where is it? Where am I going? Where is this typeface? BA, there it is, basketball. This is probably not what I'm going to use, but I'm just putting it out there because it's something. You can see the type size is way different from the Helvetica to the Baskerville. So I'm gonna go ahead and font traits, make it normal, and font size, I'm gonna bump that up to 10, just to kind of give it a little bit of juice there. And of course it needs a new name, so we're gonna say descriptions, because I could probably use this in other places throughout. Click OK. So now anytime if I click on here, it shows you the base, but if I click here, it goes to descriptions right there. This is also a description, and right now it's base, but if I click on description, it changed it automatically. Now watch. If I go back in here and change it, and I go, let's say, change the type size to 12, it changed it dynamically. It got real big real fast. Don't want it that big. I'm gonna go 10. In fact, I'm probably even gonna go, I'm gonna marginalize this just a little bit more, 9.5. Again, I may not keep any of these actual styles, or rather, I'm not going to keep them like this, but this is the thing. I can make these changes on the fly at any time, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply them wherever I see that description, which is any time it looks like a kind of like a paragraph of type just relating to what her duties were. Now there's another way you can create a paragraph style without having to automatically go ahead and hit plus that. You can change it on the fly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and change this to 12, right? And then I'm gonna make it, let's say, bold. And then that's automatic. And let's say I wanted to make it all caps like that. That might be a little bit big. So I'm gonna reduce it down to 11. And then maybe if I'm getting really tricky, I'm gonna, where is it? Maybe it's under character. Yeah, maybe it's under character. Yeah. So I'm going to change the spacing or the tracking. Of course it's this way. Let's change this. We're going to go plus 10, maybe a little bit more, 15, just to give it a little bit more space and a little bit more, and it's still too big, so I'm going to go back to 10 and then change that again. I just want to make it a little bit more interesting. Now again, not sure if I'm going to keep this, but I'm going to put it down here for now. And I'm just going to go ahead and select this, make it a paragraph style. We're going to call this subheaders because it's not the main headline. And you can see that the, oh, did it apply? I don't know. Base font, bold, font size 10, character spacing 50. Okay, so it did. It did change it. You can see down here in the style settings it did, but for some reason the way it says font family no change, I think it's because if you go to the style, it's based on base. If I change that to no style, what happens if I do that? See, it doesn't, I don't know, I'm not sure. It's based on whatever the selection is right now. So we're just gonna say based on base and keep it like that, and then click that. And so now I have that. So anytime I wanted to do a subhead, it's automatically there. If we go in deeper into this information here, this area sales leader and then the Marriott Southwest Orange County area sales, that's the kind of the category or where she did that particular job. This information we may decide to keep all as one body, right? So we're not gonna split May 2019. We're not gonna split all this other information like this. We may just leave it bulk like this. So if that's the case, but I want to change this to be a little bit different. Let's say I want it to be italicized. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna oblique it just like that. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make this a character style. So we're gonna say, we'll call it job area description. Keep everything as it is. Apply to the current selection because that's important. And now anytime I go here and do that, it's gonna apply just like that. Let's just say I applied subheaders to this whole thing. And then it's taking on that information. If I went in and actually made this, okay, the font is gonna be definitely Baskerville. Let's say it's the font weight is definitely going to be, but, oh, that's the weight. The font width, we don't need that. We need, oh, it's already italic, and the font size is definitely gonna be 10. Click OK. See, that didn't do what I wanted to. So we're gonna go back in and fix this again. Font family, Helvetica. Oh, and we're gonna go back and change that to 9. It should override. And apply style to the selection. And it's still not working. I'm not sure why that's not working. It should work, and it's not. Oh, wait. Helvetica. Like, oh, bleak. There we go. There you go. So it did change it. So if I wanted that to be that way, that's just a little stumbling on my part, I apologize. But if I wanted to keep it that way, I wouldn't. But if I wanted to keep it all that way, I could. I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna keep that all as base. But you can still see that that section right there stayed that way. Again, the character styles supersede the paragraph styles. So you can apply a paragraph style, but there's a character style, that one's gonna say, hey, I will take that under advisement, but I'm still gonna do my thing over here. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's really all there is to it. Now, there's a lot for me to do. I'm just getting the type styles set up, and I haven't even got anywhere close to being any kind of design. There's no design to this whatsoever. And I will show, maybe I will show the rest of that in the future, or I'll just do like a time-lapse video of me doing this whole thing. Yeah, for now, that's it. So if you have any questions about type styles, paragraph styles, character styles, if you want me to dive deep on these things, the group styles, let me know. I'll try and figure it out. I think it's probably going to apply just like object styles do, but I'm gonna have to figure that out. Probably have to go do my own YouTube research to figure it out and then deliver to you in my typical Dave style. Not text style Dave or type style Dave, but just Dave style Dave. Okay. Like I said, it's the fishbowl and it's summer and it's hot and I'm hot, so I'm gonna go find myself an air conditioner and plant myself about 6 inches from it. Thanks very much, people. I really appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about anything I talked about, make sure you leave a comment down below. And while you're going down there, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit that bell button so you never miss a thing, and share this with your homies if you think they will appreciate it. Let me just take a second to look and see what we're doing next. Later this week, we're gonna be talking about Printful and the current status of print on demand. Yes. But until then, I'm out. Remember folks, be good today, be even better tomorrow. See ya.